Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When you see the extremes of those in dunya, such as high power and personal luxurious lifestyles and plans being made that date up to 2050, and then when you see the extreme of Islam, such as the Dargah, where people have given up everything in their lives, is it possible to balance between both of them?
Say that again. So you want to have your cake and eat it too? No. Say that again. Say the question again. Let me try to understand.
The way they wrote this question is, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When you see the extremes of dunya, such as the high power, personal living their lives and plans being made that date up to 2050, then you see the extreme of Islam, such as the Dargah, people whom have given...
So is it possible to balance both? Okay.
Yeah.
Number one, living in the Dargah is not an extreme of Islam. It is not. And living out in the dunya to have a luxurious lifestyle is not another extreme of Islam. It is not. If you're trying to say people outside who live not for Islam, because you cannot have a luxurious lifestyle and live and making plans up to 2050, you cannot live like that. That's why there is zakat in Islam. That's why you still have to fast. That's why it is possible, it is important for Muslims to live in a community, to understand poor people around them, and to be able to help. If you are saying that you are a rich Muslim, and you're living in luxury without helping other Muslims, then you're not a real Muslim. It is not permissible that time to live like that. If you are saying that, who do we need to look at? If the balance between two, it is the Prophet ﷺ, then that is a correct way to look at it. Because whether it is the world teaching us this is extreme or this is extreme, or our understanding saying this is extreme and this is extreme, everything is not what Allah and His Prophet is saying. First you have to go back, clear up everything, and say what Allah and His Prophet ﷺ that they are saying. How one should live your life. What did the Prophet say ﷺ? How is it that we should live our life? Didn't he say we should live our life moderately? In moderation. Living in moderation does not mean now that you cannot have this whole world. You can be a billionaire, and in this country, especially in America, there's so many millionaires, but they don't live millionaire lifestyle. They live moderately. So you can own everything, you can own but you live moderately. In the old days, the sultans, the halifas, especially the Ottomans, and some of the Mughal sultans, and some of the other in the other dynasties also, they have everything, but they live very frugal, very moderate lifestyle in their palaces. They eat simpler food than we eat, healthier food, and they live very simple lifestyle. They have a simple room that they live in. They don't live in luxury. So the key is to live moderately, but not according to how you're going to think moderate is, according to TV or books or your own imagination. It is what Allah and His Prophet and the Prophet's inheritors will tell you what is that moderate lifestyle to lead. Okay? So you can own, you can be a millionaire. Then that time, if you are just having the luxury just for your nafs, that is wrong. You can be a millionaire, but you live moderate lifestyle. Once in a while you have the luxury, but showing it is for Islam, that may be permissible also. It's not for you to decide. If you have a guide, the inheritors of the Prophet, they are the ones who's going to say, Yes. Now, you are a sultan. Say you're a sultan of Brunei. Sultan of Brunei, he is Shaykh Mawlana's murid. Shaykh Mawlana is not telling him, leave everything and come live at the dargah. He has a work to do there. So, he has to show now the haybat of Islam. Sometimes he has to do some crazy things here and there too, to deflect attention. Muslims must wake up to understand what is tricks and what is real. That is also allowed. If a person lives very poor, although he has millions, but he lives very poor, but it is not for Allah's sake, it is not to help Islam, but he lives poor because he's very stingy, that is also nafs, and that is also forbidden. So these two are extremes. Living in the dargah is not an extreme. How many here can say that we live very poor conditions? None. Alhamdulillah, shukr. We have so much food, alhamdulillah. We have a lot of clothes to wear. We are living in luxury because we are comparing ourselves not to the millionaires and billionaires. We are comparing ourselves to those who have nothing. That is how a believer should live. When it comes to the dunya, what you possess, you should always compare yourself to those who have nothing, not to those who have something. This world is upside down. Television is showing only the rich people, so even if you're rich, they're showing richer than you. You'll never have satisfaction or contentment. And you'll always be stressed out. You'll never taste the happiness or the contentment that you have. But Islam is saying, for the world, look to those who have less than you. But for akhirat, for religious matters, for spiritual matters, look to those who are better than you. And this world is saying, when it comes to your character or how good you are, you must always look to the murderer, to the thief. That's why people say, well, I'm not a bad man. I don't kill anyone. I don't cheat. I don't steal. Yeah, it doesn't make you into a good person because you're not being put in that position to do those things. May Allah not test us. So, what is the balance now? We're not looking for balance. We're not looking at balance between dunya and akhirat. Especially if you are already in the way, in the path of Islam, in the path of tariqat. We're not looking for a balance of dunya. That's why Mawlana Rumi is saying, you're not finished with your duality. You're not finished with two. Reach one. Come to ahad. Come to oneness. Come to the one. Don't be split. Don't say there is this and there is this, so everything has to be this. No. Choose one. Not choose this or this, but there is something higher than these two, and that is one. What do we mean by that? It's like someone saying, well, you know, we have a nafs and we have the spirit. Both are extreme. Shouldn't we balance the two? If you're in the spiritual way, you say no. To balance the two, it is the worst thing that you can do now. Because the two is not meant to be balanced. Because Allah did not create the spirit and the ego to balance each other. He created the spirit to be the master of the ego. When you have the spirit being master of the ego, that time you will have harmony. You will have balance. If you're saying both should be equal, then you're still stuck with this. Maybe some people are going to get upset with me, but you're still going to be stuck with this yin and yang thing happening. It's not. It's beyond that. You cannot say there is haq and there is batil. There is truth and there is falsehood. Both are extreme. Can't we have a middle ground somewhere? Can we ever say that? No. Haq is haq and batil is batil. So, now, these are the extremes of the life. What is the balance that we are looking for? We're not looking for balance. We are looking to live for the sake of Allah. And we're going to live we're looking to live according to the lifestyle of the Prophet ﷺ and his Sahabe Kiram with the help of a guide. If that is your one main thing, then it doesn't matter if you're poor or you're rich. It doesn't matter if you're a street sweeper or you're a sultan. It doesn't matter if you have a little or you have everything. You still have the main niyat, intention that you're living for Allah. You'll still live for Allah. It's not a matter of if you live in the dargah, then you leave everything and you're living for Allah. So many people thinking that way, but we've seen after a while they crumble because they didn't come here for the sake of Allah too. But if you live for the sake of Allah, it should not matter what you have or what you don't have. Whatever you have, you'll use it for the sake of Allah, but the guide will be there to guide you. For some people, they have to be rich. With that richness, they can help Islam and will give them faith. If poverty is given to them, they're going to lose that faith. For some people, it's like that. And in the Akhir Zaman, to have wealth is also important to help the Ummah. Because the Akhir Zaman people, they are weak. They cannot handle having little. They start worrying. Even before it's taken away from them, they start worrying. I don't know how. This is all teaching us faith, isn't it? Now we have to say, what kind of faith? No, it's not that. It's not faith. That means that our confidence in Allah is according to how much bank balance we have. Should not be. Our faith in Allah must be strong. Our faith in Allah must be there whether Allah gives us or He doesn't give us. And our faith in Allah must teach us that we have to hold on to a guide and who will make us serve what we have for the sake of Allah. Whether we have a lot, still for the sake of Allah, that time you have balance. You don't have, like what we're saying in these days, to have wealth, you can help. So many people in the 21st century, Muslims, they cannot handle not having too much. They start losing their faith too. But for some, if Allah gives them more, if Allah gives them what they want, they'll start losing their faith too. So, that is how you're going to achieve. You can only achieve balance if you're seeking to please Allah and His Prophet and the awliya first. Other than that, you're just making up imagination. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.